In completely real news, I accidentally recorded part of this while I was watching Drawfee, so you can hear their voices in the background while I am talking about my video. To the suggestion of my family and friends, aka the only people currently watching my channel, they have suggested that I make an About Me video, and usually these kind of things don't tend to happen until later on, that at least that I've noticed in art channels. But hey, it's a good as time as any to get started. A lot of people that are artists go on and say, oh, my whole life was full of art. I drew all the time. And guess what? I'm not any different. When I was going to school, I would just draw all the time. Pretty much anything. I think mostly it was anime, Sailor Moon, Hamtaro, Yu-Gi-Oh! Especially. You name it, I probably watched it and I probably drew it. But yeah, anime seems to be the origin story of many an artist, and I definitely beelined right for that style and went with it, and that's pretty much all I drew, besides the occasional still life, because I was taking art lessons from about 7 to 13, and they very heavily focused on realism, which I am very grateful for. So when I was in high school, I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do with my life, as many people do. Was I prepared? No. Did I have any really solid idea? I guess I wanted to help people. I was very inclined to talking to people, listening to people. So I kind of went towards psychology. In my senior year of high school, I applied for a couple of colleges. I think I applied for like 2. But I ended up going to a university for psychology and did 1 year. I didn't really like the dorm life as much as I thought I would, so I came back home. I then went to community college, my local community college, for a couple years, probably about 3 semesters, and got my associates in social science, fully intending on transferring and getting a bachelor's. About 1 month before graduation, my great uncle, he said, why don't you pursue your art? And I think to myself, huh, that's an idea that I've heard 5,000 times from my mother. But you know how it is. Sometimes when you hear it from your mom, you're not really thinking about it much. But like when somebody else says it, you're like, huh. So I start going into it, going onto the job databases, government databases, like pretty much everything. Because I am a very logic person. If I don't think that it's reasonable to do something to pursue a career, I'm not going to do it. No matter how much I like it, I'll just keep it as a hobby. It is a field that is projected to grow just about as much as any other occupation, has employment opportunities. It might be a little harder to get into as far as like hierarchy is concerned, but at least in my area, it's like it takes a little bit more work than a normal job, but it's not 1 in a billion gets it or anything. Isn't it better to go for something that's hard to get into, that you really, really love to do, than get into something that's maybe easier to do, but you're going to be not miserable, but you're going to be complacent your whole life? Yes, it'll be hard work. Yes, it might be the hardest thing you ever do, but nothing worth having is easy to come by. Every time I see a movie or a TV show, no joke, every time the credits roll, I say, I am not going to stop until I get there. And now, more than anything, art seems to be opening way more, having way more job opportunities on a variety of skill levels. So I had super good grades, 3.7 GPA. I loved it. And I got a job working as an administrative assistant, with about 40% of my job was graphics. So already, before I even graduated, I had an art-related job, which is, like, granted, it's not like the top-notch art job, but like it definitely was a resume changer, whereas my previous jobs were literally data entry and pool monitor. So that's not exactly going to go on an art resume. And I also had an internship for an art studio. My payment for the internship was that I could take art lessons there, and that was very valuable to me as well. And that was back when I was trying to get into, I was applying for four-year schools in my last semester so I could have a game plan. It was a whole thing. But long story short, I had asked them to write me a letter of recommendation, the place I interned at. And they looked at my portfolio, had an informal interview. And when I came in the next week, she told me that she had sent them a recommendation letter that said, my skill level is not good enough to go this year, but they should let me in next year. And it shattered my heart into pieces. I finished out my semester with them interning, and then I just kept on trucking. I applied to schools. I got accepted into my dream school, which is the Savannah College of Art and Design. And I got a really good scholarship from it. But as many things go, the tuition was still too expensive after the scholarship, so I had to politely decline after I reviewed my budget and look for other options. And I ended up on Academy of Art University. And they have been so great. This character that I'm drawing that I completely have neglected is channel mascot, I guess, Penumbra, the tiefling bard. She's one of my two regular D&D characters that I play. I say regular, like I've played recently, but I have not. I'm actually going to play tonight, though. Yay. I absolutely love D&D. It's another thing where I love original characters, and they're one of my favorite things in the world. Hearing other people's stories, hearing the DM, hearing the world building. World building is also one of my favorite things. I love being in creative spaces, and I love D&D. It's so wonderful. It's basically playing pretend for grown-ups, and it's the best. And I wanted to make my character Penumbra the mascot of the channel because she's a bard. That's an artistic thing. And also because I have a ukulele, and that's music related. And do I still play the ukulele? Sometimes. But yeah, so my point is that I love D&D. It's wonderful. And if anybody wants me to talk more about D&D, leave it in the comments. Whatever. That's basically me. Hashtag about me. I can go into more depth if people are relatively interested. But yeah, that's the long and short of my art life, at least. I know this is not the best voiceover in the world. I am not very good at talking. Yes, that is the term, talking. But I'm definitely trying to work on it, and I hope that this is better than the last video. And I hope that future videos have me talking better. Alright, I hope you enjoy the video. Bye.